Have you ever felt like you're talking to a goldfish when you chat with an AI? You have this great in-depth conversation, you solve a problem, and then the very next day, poof, it's like you're total strangers. Well, today, we are diving deep into the brain that is changing all of that.
It's a universal frustration, right? You spend all this time explaining your issue, your preferences, maybe you even tell it your life story, only to have to repeat everything from scratch the next time you log on. It's the #1 headache with these systems. So what's the deal? Why are they so darn forgetful?
Well, the solution is a technology that's been designed from the ground up to give these AIs a real persistent memory. The system we're breaking down today, called AgentCore Memory, is engineered specifically to turn these forgetful bots into intelligent partners that actually get you. Okay, let's get into it. Here's our game plan for today. First, we'll touch on that big problem, AI amnesia. Then, we'll explore how an AI has, kind of like us, 2 different brains. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the actual building blocks of memory. See it all work in a super clear example? And finally, we'll look at what this all means for the future of AI that truly remembers.
So let's start right there, with the core problem. The difference between a simple tool and a truly helpful companion isn't just about raw power. It's about continuity. Without a memory, every single interaction has to start from square one, and that's the wall we've needed to break through.
Now, what's so cool about this is how the system is structured to solve that problem. It actually mimics our own minds by giving the AI 2 completely distinct types of memory, one for the short term and one for the long term.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got short-term memory. Think of this as the AI sticky note for the conversation that's happening right now. It's the raw, moment-by-moment history of our chat. But on the right, that's the good stuff. That's long-term memory. This is the permanent vault, where the AI stores the structured key insights, the important stuff, like your shoe size, that it should remember forever.
So how are these memories actually built? How are they organized? Let's move on and look at the fundamental pieces that make this entire thing work.
It all really comes down to these 4 pillars: the event, the session, the actor, and the memory record. Once you get what these 4 terms mean, the whole system just clicks into place. So let's break them down one by one.
First up is the event. This is the most basic unit of memory you can have, a single time-stamped interaction. It could be one message you send, a file you upload, or a button you click. Think of it as one single frame in a very long movie.
Okay, so if an event is a single frame, a session is the entire scene. It's the container that groups all of those individual events together into one complete conversation. So if you chat with a support bot for 10 minutes, that whole interaction with all the back and forth is considered one session.
The actor is probably the easiest one to get. It's simply whoever, or whatever, is talking to the AI. Most of the time, the actor is you, the human user. But, it could also be an automated system or even another AI. And finally, we have the memory record. And this is the golden nugget. This is the whole point. After a conversation is over, the system analyzes everything that was said and pulls out the key facts. That little piece of structured knowledge, like user prefers brand X, becomes a memory record, and that gets filed away in permanent long-term storage. Okay, theory is great, but let's see how this all works in practice. We're going to move to a real-world example and watch how these building blocks come together to create a smarter, personalized experience. So check this out. This shows the whole journey. Step 1, you, the actor, create an event just by saying something simple like, I only wear brand X running shoes. Step 2, that event gets logged in the short-term memory as part of the current session. But here's the magic. Step 3, in the background, the system extracts that key insight. And finally, step 4, that insight becomes a permanent memory record, stored away in your long-term memory. So, the crucial payoff is what happens next time. Just like the source material says, the agent can now remember and suggest that shoe brand automatically. The interaction immediately becomes personalized, it becomes relevant, all without you having to repeat a single thing. And maybe one of the most elegant parts of this whole design is that all this heavy lifting, the extracting of insights, the storing of facts, it all happens asynchronously. It's going on quietly in the background, so your actual conversation is never slowed down. The AI is literally learning from you in real time without you even noticing.
So what does all this add up to? Why is this such a big deal for you, the user? Let's zoom out and look at the kind of future this technology really unlocks.
Look,
An AI with a good memory delivers a fundamentally different kind of experience. We are talking about truly personalized interactions, seamless continuity where you can pick up a conversation days later, and efficient recommendations that actually make sense. But the big one, the real game changer, is this. You never have to re-explain yourself again. And that elevates the AI from being just a tool to being a genuine partner.
And this leaves us with a final, fascinating thought. As this technology gets more and more sophisticated, what becomes possible when our AI companions can remember us, our preferences, our history, maybe even better than we remember ourselves? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining this explainer.